I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the May 30th, 2017 edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Last Sunday in my Sunday school class, I taught on Matthew 28, the Great Commission, primarily verses 18 through 20. And you know, Matthew is interesting in the way it ends. As we know, all of the Gospels are a little bit different. They had different audiences. They have different details, different emphases. And Matthew, it was written, as you remember, to the Jews primarily. It kind of ends in a strange way. There are lots of details about the learning ministry, teaching ministry of Christ, and the healing ministry, and then a lot about the crucifixion. But then it's almost as if he's in a hurry, Matthew is, to finish up this tale and get on with it. There's a very quick recitation without a lot of details about the actual resurrection on Easter morning, and then it pretty much goes directly into the Great Commission. We don't get any of those details about the appearance in the upper room, or the road to Emmaus, or the private conversation with Peter, or the multitude of times that Christ appeared to the disciples and to larger groups as well. It goes immediately to being on a hill in Galilee and the Great Commission. Now this makes sense because Matthew is all about explaining to the Jews that Christ is the Messiah, and that the gospel, the good news, is supposed to go out from the heart of Judaism, from Galilee and that area, and spread out to all of the world in an ever-growing concentric circles. Now, what I want to focus on, though, right now is something that is interesting in those final verses. Christ has told the two women, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, at the tomb, to tell the disciples to go ahead of him, and he will meet them in Galilee on a certain mountain. And then in verse 18, we're told that they saw him. Now, in the Greek, the implication is that he's quite a distance from them, and he's coming toward them, and they see him. And the Bible says that they worshiped, but some doubted. Now, I want to focus on that a moment. You know, at first you might say, well, wow, after all that's happened, some of them are still doubting. Well, yes, they are. And whether they should have been or not, whether they had reason to or not, is really irrelevant to what I want to talk about right now. We had disciples who doubted for whatever reason, whether they should have or not, they were. And yet, all of them worshiped. My friends, God is not afraid of your doubts. God is not afraid of your questions. God demands respect. He wants you to come and ask those questions with respect, without an arrogant attitude, without a I'm the boss of you, God, and you have to perform for me attitude, but a genuine seeker, a genuine doubter who is genuinely trying to see the truth. He will not turn them away. And Christ did not. In Matthew, it says that he came on toward them and he spoke to them, even those that in their hearts were doubting. And yet, you have to realize something. While some of them were doubting, even the doubters were worshiping. Yes, we worship even through our doubts. We worship even when we're not certain, even when we don't have all the answers, even when we're maybe in despair and disillusioned, bewildered. We still worship. And you know, I think, frankly, that is probably the greatest worship that we can ever give. When everything's good and everything seems right with the world, it's easy to worship. It's easy to give God the credit and be joyful. But when you're not certain, when you have your reservations, and yet, despite it all, you realize, as Peter said to Christ, where else shall we go? You have the words of life. When you still stay with the light, even when the darkness surrounds you. I'm not sure, but that is not the greatest worship we ever give to God. It may be the one that He loves the most. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me tomorrow on the next edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a great day.